Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ian, the Dungeon Master, and I'm joined here by my two friends, Tori and Aaron, of Joined by Gaming, my younger brother Tyler, our good friend Scott, and my older brother TJ. We have just done a cool little recap of what's happened thus far in Season 2, so if you want to know down to the precise details what happened before this session, you can check that out. It's pretty awesome. We also covered what these three characters did for level 8. We'll probably get into that next episode for you two.
Also, if you're watching on Twitch, we just activated our
poll.
Our Twitch picks. If you're on desktop, you can mouse over the video player, and there's some really fun questions in there. Which character is the most likely to get the party into trouble is one of them. Character you'd like to invite to a dinner party. So it's fun, it's goofy, and I'm excited to see what you guys think.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see the results of that. That's super fun. So, are you guys ready to jump into it, essentially?
Yeah.
So for the light recap, since you can get a heavy recap in the recap video, you guys delved into the Spider King's fortress with the help of Jantel. Jantel and Clara stayed on the outside after you fought some Umber Hulks so that they could watch your back and permit you to assault the fortress without being ambushed yourselves. You went in, freed some slaves, and learned that indeed the Spider King is a drow wizard who lives below in some ruins that he mined out long ago. You guys delved into those ruins, fought away some dryaders, talked with some statues, banished some demons, and ended up killing the wizard, finding his notebook to be very specific in its instructions on how to banish the true Spider King, a powerful demon that he had been summoning from the abyss to the material plane and had completed a ritual to make that permanent and have him truly bring a reign of terror into the region. You determined that there was no point in not truly defeating the Spider King, so you committed to the ritual, and after a desperate fight, finally fell the demon and banished him back to the abyss. And that is where we left off, with you guys also discovering that there's a full 50,000 gold pieces in looted gold left in these ruins. And you're probably breathing pretty hard, sweating, just finally through with this battle.
So by my math, that's 25,000 gold for Jar.
You know, you probably did mine a bunch of it.
Oh, jeez. What would you guys like to do with that? Got a bag of holding ready?
I have a handy haversack.
Ooh!
Which is not as big as a bag of holding.
Not quite.
Correct. I don't have many good ways, you know, I don't have like I didn't take any spells of like Leomin's tiny chest or whatever it is, you know.
So we can all blame you.
Gilroy's feeling impotent as he stares down this pile of gold. I mean, how much can one person reasonably carry?
It's a dumb question in D&D. If you all filled your packs and filled the handy haversack, I'd say you're in need of exchanging this gold for gems.
Yeah.
But you can bring it with you. So if you were to collect it all out, exchange it, you have room for it.
We can pile it onto the horse.
Sure, we can grab
Yeah,
it.
no, sure. If you were to bring it up load by load with the handy haversack and put it in sacks and pile it on the horse, it's a big war horse it can carry. Not some suspension of disbelief. 50,000 gold is a lot of gold.
Well, there's some gems in there already.
Precisely, yeah, as well as some valuable artwork. It all weighs out to 50,000
I like
gold.
to imagine we
Horse
just
finally
all
earned
put
its
it all
oats.
on Char's
Yeah.
back.
yeah, there you go. All of this out.
Yeah, you can take 25,000 if you're gonna carry it the whole way. Not really, though. Definitely not.
And so ultimately, do you guys rest up down there, or just head on out?
I feel like we should probably not feeling so hot.
You need at least a short rest.
Nor is Leander. Some of you are really struggling to stay conscious, essentially, as you wrap the rest of this eventful evening in the Spider King's ruins. And you certainly take a rest and feel a bit invigorated. Like your studies and your all your training and hard work has finally come into play, and you felt it in that last fight, and now you are level 8. You guys emerge from...
So is that going to be a long rest?
It is, yeah. So if there's any spells you were missing, any HP you were missing before that level up, you get
Most
it.
of my HP.
Yes. And after resting, you guys turn back towards that large circular tunnel which you directed the slaves towards. Make your way up the rope, which is still hanging steadily. Seems to be quite secure. And through the mines once again, which is it's a bit of a solemn walk.
Actually, Gilroy does not climb the rope. He flies right up. He looks to Silas and says, "Come on, buddy."
Show off.
As you guys are going hand over hand, making your way up. Okay, and you emerge into the mines, which the walkout is a bit solemn. It's quiet. Which, in contrast to at least the degree of life that was in here before, it feels like something has come to an end, is the general sense that washes over you. In particular, you, Jar, though you might be a little elated to see that finally the Spider King's work is destroyed. There's no more to this. And as you make your way on out, you emerge into the sunlight, your eyes adjusting, especially you, Jars. It's a little bit blinding. And as you enter or exit the mountainside back towards those temple ruins, you see that Jantel and Clara have been quite busy. Indeed, a pack of drow made their way towards you, probably in the night, returning raiding party, and Jantel seems to have dispatched them. However, you do note that Clara has a short bow in her hands and a quiver with 3 arrows in it. And Jantel seems to be attempting to teach her as she stands atop a pedestal the best ways to stand and whatnot, the best positions to take, and how she could potentially make use of her wings and whatnot in ranged combat. And as you guys approach, Jantel hops down and goes, "You made it! How was that?"
Horrible.
Horrible and successful.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. It seemed like this was a major threat in the region, and, well, it's truly taken care of.
I don't think they'll be bothering anybody anymore.
Very good. The slaves that you freed, I directed them beyond the pass. It seems like there's some port towns that way. They'll be able to make their way back to their homes from there. Gave them a few gold to work with, too.
How many?
It seemed like there was, 24 in total, by the time they gathered up everyone else in the mines and made their way out.
And how much gold?
I gave them as much as I could. In total, about 50 gold pieces. It's probably enough for ship's passage, at least.
Well, Jar will give her 50 gold, and thank you for helping my family.
She takes it quietly and counts it out and goes, "Of course." Puts it away. Now then, melee. Turns out that Claire is a little bit of an archer. And, well, you know that I'll be busy scouting as I usually do. She'll be staying with you, of course. If you do get the time, I think you're even more proficient than I. If she had a master teacher like you, she'd be quite the archer in no time.
Sounds good.
Consider it on the road. Now then. Are you guys ready to make your way back to town? It's a little bit of a trek, of course, but I think it's about time to set out. The sun's burning. She leads you beyond the pass and back through the countrysides. It's pretty quiet and calm through the taiga. The early summer nights are cool, well lit by stars, and you're able to continue on walking for a good while before you have to stop and rest. And then by the next day's afternoon, you can see water reel around the bend, the mountains upon which the waterfalls flow down and power the wheels themselves, and their mist as they hit the rocks of that area. You can see that with good detail as you approach. You make your way through the southern gate, where none other than Godric seems to be awaiting you. Godric, the Goliath champion. And though the guards permit you pass without any problem, Godric stops in front of you and looks you down, and he goes, finally back, and just in time. How was your trip there?
Deadly. It's quite a fight.
I could imagine the Spider King had plagued that region for years and years. And finally his reign has come to an end.
Quite so.
Good. Good. I'm sure the mayor will be pleased. She was actually looking for your advice, as well as what you may have retrieved for her. Come, follow me, if you will. And he leads you up along the southern side of town, past the markets, and up along the plateau to the estate, where you walk on through, past the mayor's bodyguard, ogre bodyguards equipped with their iron breastplate and large maces, through the estate and once again into the courtyard, where you can see that the mayor awaits you, along with Zorn and a few hobgoblins, it seems, many of them in manacles. And the mayor turns towards you and goes, "Oh, I am very glad to see you again, my friends. I trust it wasn't too much trouble. I had complete confidence that you would, dispatch that problem for me."
We're happy to help.
Excellent. I could use your advice once again. Your foray into Galdoon's estate and the information you gathered there led to the arrest of these hobgoblins by none other than your companion when he made his work down in the mine, Zorn. He seems a very trustworthy and knowledgeable fellow, and so he brought them to me to pass down judgment. It just so happens they intended to sabotage the mines, get rid of some of our integral supports, and of course, well, that can't be let to pass, so... What judgment do you imagine should befall these creatures? And there is an aura of a little bit of indignity to the mayor as she speaks about this. Like perhaps it's hardly worth her time, but she wants to know what you would do with them. And Zorn turns towards you and he goes, "I'd rather not put them in chains. I'm sure you can understand why."
Of course.
Banishment.
Mm.
They wish to destroy the town, they can leave the town.
The mayor goes, "That's reasonable. Do the rest of you concur?"
You mean, not a magical nature of banishment, right?
No, I mean, kick them out of town, send them outside Lightning Gate, do not let them back in.
Yes, of course. Well, I am no...
You're terrible, why would you want to do this? They're not that bad.
You know, it's not the worst thing that could happen, really.
Sounds pretty horrible to me.
You'll spend eternity on a foreign plane with no food.
Someday. No, I am no arbiter of justice, but our fearless leader is a champion of Torm. What do you think?
I have to say, Jar, that sounds like quite the judgment. Good reasoning behind it.
No, thank you.
Exile does seem to be the best option.
The mayor turns towards you, Erlon, and goes, "The free roamers are always considered, well, level-headed people, fair of judgment. Do you think that's worth considering?"
Honestly, where I come from, something like this, swift execution.
Zorn goes, "That was my thought as well. Why live a life of pain?"
Don't let me visit his town.
Why risk them coming back? Why allow them to gather more people for a cause?
It's true. The only way we could truly prevent their plans from coming to fruition would be to rid ourselves of the problem permanently.
But then we're just as bad as Goldoon suggests the mayor is to begin with.
One of the hobgoblins, who up until this point have been rather silent, with an ogre guard at their side, chained up by their hands and feet, cries out and he goes, we won't listen to Galdoon no more. Let us go free. We'll find our own place in the mountains. I like with the banishment, please."
Why did you follow Galdoon to begin with?
Years ago, he was rich. Years ago, he had power here. Then the mayor came through, disrupted all of that. For hobgoblin kind, It's not the easiest of times, and Galdoon was a leader back in the day, a strong warrior. Now, well, we can see what's the fault. We're sorry for what we've done. Please let us free.
You're only sorry because you were caught.
The mayor gives a nod of agreement.
This is the most safe place your kind and many others could ever find. Almost every other settlement, especially in the north, you'd be executed on sight just for being what you are. And you risk that for what? Money? You're the most, it's incredibly, the most dishonorable thing I can honestly imagine. Everybody here trusts you. Everybody here is so open. Ettins and ogres walking side by side. Why? I don't understand.
The mayor goes, Erlon, I'm glad you can see what we've built here. However, on the other hand, these hobgoblins obviously have abandoned those ideals. I say,
I think you risk people who are on the fence going against you.
and
Just
so
from a purely political standpoint, there were a lot of people at that party that weren't sure one way or another how they were feeling. And if you start executing everyone who's against you, it could push them closer to Galdoon.
That was Galdoon's argument that the Keradmor are bloodthirsty and you should not be dealing with them.
This is true. I think ultimately, I'll put it up to your friend's judgment. She looks towards Zorn. Zorn looks towards the hobgoblins and clears his throat and goes, Well, I did not expect to be, as you said, Gilroy, an arbiter of justice. Especially from where and how I was raised. It seems wrong that I would have control over another being's life like that, so readily able to take it away. Let's see how they fare in the wilds of Keradmor. Exile for now. Though I'll be keeping watch for more of their kind. And with that, Zorn marches them out of the courtyard, off the plateau, and towards the front gates, where they are unshackled and left to survive as they will. And the mayor goes, I appreciate your perspective, Erlon, and yours, Melee, all of you. That was well said. Perhaps they did deserve death. Perhaps so does Galdoon. But indeed, especially with us leaving Waterwheel soon, we don't want to give them an opening for some sort of martyr to rally behind, an uprising, a symbol, and instead having them walk away in the night may be the most peaceful way to be rid of this issue. Now then, did you manage to find for me the treatment?
Yes.
And hands over the amulet. You can see her unclasp the ruby amulet that she was wearing, adorned in gold, and sets it to the side. And it is at this point that you notice that the amulet you handed her is no doubt magically charged. It glows slightly. The ruby has some magical energy within it, whereas the one that she had has been spent. It is dull, and even the ruby itself looks to be of lower quality than the other one that you retrieved for her. And she clasps it on, takes a deep breath of the sweet air of the garden courtyard, and goes, Good, good. I'll be able to last a good while longer like this. Now then. Yeah.
May I ask?
What exactly did this to me? She gestures towards the right side of her face, which is, the skin is taut and gray, tight. It almost makes her look ghastly, like a skeleton on that side. And she goes, usually she braids her hair in such a way that it covers it. And she goes, about a decade ago, which feels like just yesterday to us dwarves, when Clan Molnar and us who live on the surface, the tensions were so high, the Keradmor unleashed a devastating weapon, a disease which they spread throughout the lake. It has since dispersed, but I was afflicted, as were many others. due to my knowledge and leadership, those who followed me used magics to spare me where many other fell. And now I must maintain those magics, and for that, I feel as though I've been ever in debt of those who rally under my banners here in Waterwheel. And I suppose in that you can know that my meanings and my motivation is true. I try to keep them safe as they have kept me safe for many years. So, you understand it is difficult for this truce we've come across to actually be laid in foundation. That's why we need to make our way to Steelhammer Stronghold. Get this in writing. Make a true alliance that brings the surface dwellers and those of Clan Mulnar back into, well, what Carid Morin should be. And for that, and your actions just now, I know you are trustworthy advisors, and so indeed, I invite you to join me on the road. It will be quite a journey, but by the time we make it to Steelhammer Stronghold, you may very well have 3 more members of the Order of Swords behind your cause, not to mention willing to protect your companion. And she looks towards Clara.
When would we be leaving?
I intend to set out tomorrow morning. You'll have time to rest and potentially spend some of your gains.
As gold coins fall out of our
Yeah, literally, like, the horse behind you is like...
It's sooner than I'd hoped, but these are important matters.
Indeed, you are welcome to invite any other allies that you may have here in Waterwheel along the path. But know that it will be a dangerous journey and perhaps not suitable for all of them.
Thank you, Mayor Benneville.
Of course. I'll be meeting you in the morning then. Enjoy your night. And with that, she walks off into the stone hallways of her estate, probably to go have some kind of lunch. You do note that there's also still a good many Clan Mulnar dwarves dressed in their plate, standing straight backed as always, as well as the entourage of elves, high elves from Elenvir that join them. They're all here, however, the prince, give me a moment, Hyron Ovalos is not present at the estate.
Hiron was the one that Clara was
Yeah, kind of infatuated with.
fawning over.
Do you guys set on out into town then?
How long of a trek was it to the witch?
Uh,
That was like a day,
It
wasn't
was about, a full day.
So,
Why is that? Interested in returning?
it was. But that's okay.
Should probably be there.
Next time you're in Waterwheel. So you guys make your way down out of the estate. The sun begins to sink. It's growing into evening. And probably, presumably, towards Rawbeards, the open market there. You do see Fralthine is out standing guard around the market, as is Bilberry standing next to him, seemingly mockingly, like he's guarding the place even though he can't even see above the stalls. As you approach, Fralthine goes, "Oh, well, friends! It's been a little while. How was your time outside the walls?"
Adventurous.
Excellent! I have to say, it's even been adventurous here. There's no shortage of little thieves, and, well, almost every night, the damn lightning gates start going off. Some kind of giant attack, but seems to work pretty well.
They've still not learned, eh?
No, I think they just hate it. Well, it's not that they're dumb, I figure. It's just, they got old ways. Try and raid and fight all they like, and if something gets in the way of that, they only know one way of how to smash it down. And luckily for the gnomes, you can't really smash lightning. I tried. Doesn't work.
It's not that they're dumb, it's just that they're not very smart. I got you.
Right! Just like Frothy! Bilberry goes, yeah, no, real glad to see you guys still alive, still kicking. It's good stuff.
You too, Bilberry.
He seems to be just as laden with gold and gems as you guys. He goes, that was certainly a decent sum we got from that last mission. Or the mission before that last mission. Good job, Jar. I'm starting to have a growing fondness for you. He goes, he clicks away a couple gold pieces.
Well, thank you. And, I'm happy you're doing so well.
You shouldn't encourage him.
Shouldn't encourage what? For him to do his job? He's doing good work. Somebody needs to do it.
And as the lanterns are lit around town, some torches along the stalls, the market, of course, growing no less busy, and Rotbeard's only growing more full. Arena emerges from the front kind of patio space of Rotbeard's and looks over down the side of the rail towards you guys and goes, "You're back! And Clara's all right. I'm so glad to see it. I was very worried. I'm Gentel. Excellent. It's been weeks since we last saw her." And she runs over towards Gentel, and they embrace quickly, obviously having grown closer in the road. And she pats down Clara and makes sure that she's all right, and gives her a talk over of how was it out there, and what did you see, what did you learn, that kind of stuff, as she leads her back into Rotbeard's.
Well, everybody seems to be finding their place here.
Right in time for us to head out.
Frothan looks down and goes, "Leaving again so soon?
Tomorrow morning.
Will you be wanting me?"
Frothan, I think this is the best life you're gonna have. I don't know.
Wouldn't risk disrupting that.
Yeah.
The town needs you.
Well, when you leave that place, come back here. I will always be your ally. And he clasps you on the shoulder, Alon, looks you in the eyes and goes, "Always. Thank you, friends." And he stands up straight and looks over. He goes, "Hey, you!" As some goblin grabs something off the stall and starts running away with a piece of bread, and with great leaping bounds run across the market way. And, leaving the market kind of quiet.
Aren't you glad you didn't kill him?
I'm more glad than you'll ever know.
I have an idea.
That's not usually good.
You guys aren't gonna like this, I think. But it's something I'd like to play into if we can. Are there any birds or small animals around?
Sure. Yeah, no, there's a crow pecking about at some breadcrumbs.
Okay. So maybe as we're heading into Rotbeard's, I presume we will, unless we're gonna go do some shopping. Gilroy's gonna banish the crow.
Okay.
May I? Anyway?
Yeah. Wonder what crows have on charisma saves. You got him.
Okay. He disappears.
Are you just getting bored now?
Can I roll stealth? Oh, well, I guess there's verbal components and stuff, but...
You try and slip away from the group and, like, do this in an hour or something?
If I can.
Sure.
Okay.
What did you want with that crow?
I usually am watching you, so I don't know if that
Oh, yeah, no,
affects
sure. If you
anything.
want to roll, yeah.
That's a 14 stealth.
14 on stealth or your perception if you're trying to keep track. Oh, you see him.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Most of you guys presumably
I
make your
usually,
way.
like, stop him and just kind of, like...
No, yeah, you witnessed this. So most of you guys make your way into the
Yeah.
common room of Rotbeard's. Whereas Gilroy makes his way onto one of the darker kind of alleyways, and you, Melee, step aside, and you witness as Gilroy, mutters some words and snaps his fingers, and in a kind of poof of feathers, the crow is brought out of this plane.
Just kind of shrugs. Like, he's just being...
Yeah.
Gilroy.
Being a wizard. Okay, that's all you're doing?
For now.
Alright. So,
I'm
And
an
I-
empiricist.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
tell anyone
Fair
that
enough.
I just watched him disappear crow. It's just a crow. I've killed people.
So you guys go into Rawbeard's, and you see Nonagus is at one of the main tables. He finally seems to be intent on his direction, and he was kind of waiting out to see you guys again. He'll wait for Gilroy to enter, and Hiron Ovalos, the elf prince, is kind of daintily sitting on a stool. So not his type of decor or surrounding or general theme or setting. He seems to be out of place here, tapping his foot a little nervously. He brushes aside his long golden hair, and when Clara enters, he quickly stands up and brushes himself off and tries to look like he was there for a reason. What would you guys like to do?
I want to go up to the bar, like right next to him,
Sure.
and just I want to order like the strongest drink and just give it to him. Like, welcome to town. Hope you've been having a good time. And like,
So you go up to Rawbeard.
yes.
And you ask for whatever Erlon and Godric were drinking last time they were,
Exactly.
which is the Mountain Brew. And Rotbeard with his big bulbous eye looks up at you and goes, "Sure, right out of me own flask." And he pours you 2 big drinks and passes them on over.
Okay.
You give it to
I
him.
want to give it to him. Be like, hope you've been enjoying town. This
And
is on
shaky
me.
hand, he goes, "Oh, you're one of Clara's protectors."
Yes.
"Oh, of course."
I tip up.
Leander.
We're not very good to Clara. That's okay.
He puts down the drink and goes, so good. And you can see him hold his stomach, and he stumbles out of the bar towards a back alley where he presumably will begin retching away, as he has never drank anything so disgusting as that.
Nice.
I'm just gonna
Nice.
give my mug to Erlon. Like, there you go.
Thanks, Melee.
I don't need it.
I'll say to Melee, you're lucky your name seems to have some pull.
Oh yeah, he's a prince, isn't he?
I'm aware.
I shoot Clara just to.
I don't like it when people are trying to be overly impressive.
You shoot Clara a look.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Clara goes, she kind of muttering. She's like, just trying to protect. I get it. And Nonagus looks over towards you, Gilroy, and stumbles out of his chair with a and walks on over and grabs you, and he goes, "I finally got it! I found the way out!
What are you talking about?
I got a map! It was, it was hard to find, but someone actually has an up-to-date map of this region, and if I can just make it through the Spider King's territory, I can get to a port, and then from there, Sumedia, Elenvir, Farandwell, and now Farons. It should be pretty smooth sailing. As long as I can get past that guy."
Yes.
Oh, it might be hard.
Yeah, he's been causing a lot of trouble down there.
What?
The roads are filled with driders.
What? Sounds horrifying!
Yes, but it should be nothing for a wizard of your stature.
Yes, of course. I'll brew extra potions of invisibility. They can't see invisibility, can they? Have you found out, Gilroy? Can they see invisible things?
Oh, goodness. I've heard tell.
I'll bring you one of their heads. You can mount it on your cart and scare off any that approach your way.
He's got a good idea.
Excellent.
I've heard if you surround yourself with the bodies, they just...
They just skitter away. Yes.
Wait. Is he not your friend?
Oh,
We have a working relationship. No, truthfully, we've taken care of the Spider King. The road should be clearer. There may be some lingering parties.
Excellent,
but
excellent.
I want you to get to Nelferon, so I don't want you to be too
okay.
scared of taking the most direct route.
Of course, Gilroy, and just as promised, all credit, everything I've said in the past, many, many times, it all goes towards you. And thank you very much for clearing the roads, my friends. I think I'll be able to make it just fine. However, so I've heard there's quite a few interesting happenings in Sumedia these days, so if you do make your way down there, I may very well be in the city for some time.
Sumedia is a city in Ellenview?
Yes, it's the large one. The Themaean Bay, it's like the oldest city on Alaire, and also known to be the grandest. In the past, Arena has described, specifically to Leander, her dreams of seeing the ancient temples of Sumedia and whatnot. Right. So it seems like, also the vampire hunter, third member of the Silver Keepers, claimed he was going to make his way down there. So there's a few things pointing in that direction. Though you are going to be going in the opposite direction.
Well, we'll be predisposed for some time further, but I'm hoping to make it to Nelferons before too long. What have you heard of Sumedia?
Oh, well, there are some very interesting magical components that can be found there. The elves, of course, are very well studied in alchemy. They've had a good many thousands of years to brew potions and whatnot, and I just feel as though it's worth my effort to go down and pick up those studies before carrying on. I mean, I never thought I'd be able to, given that I was assigned to wandering around the wastes of Sarengar. No offense. But, since I may be able to make my way to the western side of Alaire, I figure I might as well spend some time and study what I can there.
Yes, I think that's fair.
And so it will be some time before you set out of Karadmorin, you're saying?
Well, if all goes well in the north, it won't be too much longer, but these negotiations never go easy.
No, of course not.
I'm sure they'll assign us to some task.
And I'm sure you'll complete it with flying colors, Gilroy, as always. And to the rest of your companions, thank you for keeping me safe. I'm not so much an adventurer, but without you, I certainly wouldn't have made it. I do have one little piece of information that you may want to keep in mind. You remember how when you were escaping the Farinwellians in Sarengar, made your way to the temple and the ruins underneath, how the portal wouldn't work until Clara touched it. That's important. Not exactly how she fits into the equation yet, but there's something very integral between her and the very magics that flow throughout Alaire. Whether it be teleportation or divination, all of these ancient ruins and her, well, there's something that connects them.
Exactly why she should be learning to master the arcane.
Well, in the least, keep her safe. Though I can trust you to do that. And he packs up his maps and scrolls and whatnot and goes, I'll be joining a few ogre merchants who managed to make their way up and down. Not exactly my preferred traveling company, but I think it'll work out.
Well, safe travels. Don't tarry in Sumedia too long.
Of course. I'll be getting my reports that way, one way or another. With that, he makes it to the front door of Rotbeard's and turns back and he goes, farewell, friends. Thank you again. Steps on out.
Turn to Gilroy and say, I still don't like him.
Yes, I don't particularly like him either.
So he wasn't your friend.
No. But he did help us quite a bit in Sarengar. I forced him to come to Karadmorin with the help of Frothlane. And well, we share a history.
And, Limeral comes wandering up behind you, Jar, grabs you by the back and turns you around and goes, speaking of old friends,
Limeral!
Jar!
I am so happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you as well, friend. Now, quickly, we might as well go right upstairs to my room. Excuse us first. And he leads you upstairs to the second floor and towards his room, which is not too far away from one of your the rest of the parties, the keys that you have for those rooms, and permits you inside, very much so set up in an unassuming way. And he takes a seat on a wooden chair and he goes, "Sit down, Jar.
All right.
What would you like to do?"
I want
Stealth?
to eavesdrop.
Would
Yeah.
probably be stealthing.
Yeah, then that is 18.
18. Jar
I
is
know yours is.
very perceptive.
Yes.
He has a 23 passive perception.
What?
So-
Okay.
yeah.
So
However,
I'm just like, pretend I'm going into my...
sure, no, exactly. So you make your way up in with the intent of really listening in on whatever they're talking about. Jar, you hear quiet footsteps behind you, obviously, in attempt at sneaking, as you sit down for this.
Okay.
And Jar goes, "Well, I've reported what we can, got all that together, and, well, so they say, the mayor's someone worth trusting. Well, that's good news. Don't have to get things too messy here in Waterwheel. Clan Molnar, on the other hand, well, our reports on the mayor pretty much clear her, as far as the old masters are concerned, but, up in Steelhammer Stronghold, they think that Vinveriak has fallen to weakness, of course, as do a good many people. He was the one, after all, who made the decision to sell off all those strongholds. And they figure that, well, you can't exactly make a regime change, so it's convenient that old Vinveriak has a son. Might as well, well, keep tabs. Let us know if he's gotten his confidence back. I envy you in this mission. I wish I could check in with him myself, but the masters are concerned that I have a little too much passion about the old days and the ways things used to be. You, on the other hand, you never gave two shits."
Because the old boys never would have included wonderful people such as me.
No, no, you would have been dead on sight, Jar.
So, now, which one specifically was he mentioning to?
He was saying Vinveriak.
Okay, so checking in to see how he's.
Yes,
okay.
he report to the masters his state of confidence is essentially, is he capable of ruling?
I can do that for you. I don't know how long it will take us, but we are leaving in the morning.
All right. With the mayor, then.
So it is reported, yes, that's what she said. We're
That's
all
good
traveling
news.
as a group.
Good, good. It'd be hard to avoid being spotted, exactly. But luckily for you, it seems like you fit right in with all those other crazies. Good thing. I'm glad you managed to establish in with the mayor so quickly. Seemed like all that training actually came in handy, Jar.
So far, so good.
I, personally, will be making my way back to Old Town. Of course, if you need some help, you can send a message. Old Limeralt will get the cart ready. Make my way towards you in no time.
Very good.
And, well, supposed to save it, but just to make that easier, he reaches into a pouch and gives you an insignia ring. And the insignia appears to have the face of a spider, the 8 eyes. It doesn't actually have the outline of the spider's face, but it has the 8 eyes and the 2 fangs. And he goes, I'll be wearing mine, you wear yours. You whisper the words, and, you know, you'll get in contact right quick.
So it's a communication
Yeah,
device.
yeah.
Thank you.
Of course, Jar.
Stay out of trouble. I do not want to have to pay any more gold to get you out of trouble.
Well, luckily enough, it seems like everything went smoothly here in Waterwheel. You just gotta wait for the next settlement I managed to bust my way into.
You still owe me.
Yes, 1,000 gold. When I have it on me, it'll be yours, Jar. But he stands up and grabs your hand and gives it a good shake, and he goes, you done good work here. I'm glad I had you for a traveling partner, honestly. And Don't tell another living dwarf I ever said that, he says as he gathers everything up and begins to make his way out of town.
Alright, your secret is safe with me, and safe travels, Limrod.
Of course. And he leaves as well. All my NPCs, they're like growing up.
Now we gotta check in with Sing Salt.
And then just to end it. Okay, we are done talking now.
All right. Those of you down in the tavern space, unless
I
you
go back down.
Okay, so you make your way back downstairs.
Mildly embarrassed, but okay. I got what I wanted.
Sig Salter, having finished his work for the day, makes his way into Rotbeard's as he tends to, along with a small group of gnomish engineers who look much more in the gnomish mood than they did the last time you saw them. Last time, due to the failures of the water wheels and the lightning gate, they looked as stressed as gnomes can be. This time, they look as though they're just talking over the latest project, what they've been tinkering on today, how the maintenance went, what grade of steel is best for those screws, and that kind of stuff. And Sig Salter notices that you guys have entered the common room, that you're back in town, and after speaking with them for a bit, getting some drinks and sitting down, he makes his way over to you and goes, "Oh, friends, you're back. I heard that you went on a daring adventure."
Yes, quite.
You always seem so... Usually adventurers have all these stories to tell. You're all, yes, quite. Fair enough. No, I don't blame you. I'm sure the adventuring life isn't quite as glamorous as they say it is. I bet a bunch of gold falls out of your pouches.
Do you like spiders? There were many, many spiders.
No, that's alright. I'll stay with these wrenches and screwdrivers, because spiders are not my thing.
So you don't want to hear our stories anyhow, then?
Probably, yeah, a good point. No, yeah. Ultimately, probably just give me nightmares. I mean, I used to live in, like, a community where people just farmed all day. That's all I liked it there. It was quiet and peaceful. This place, a lot more exciting, a lot more going on. The Lightning Gate is amazing engineering, but the craziest stuff happens all the damn time. Well, I guess I have you to thank for that, Gilroy.
You too.
But did he destroy your farm?
Well, he showed up in Lowton back in Sarngar, a bunch of Pelor worshippers who worked the fields all day, and he went into my shop and pretty much told me, "Oh, what are you, crazy? No one uses this kind of stuff around here, and you should leave." And I did, not like hours after he told me that. It was probably a good choice. I mean, it ended up working out pretty well. I get my silvers, I can spend on a room here, and I get to work on stuff I love. And it is at this point that you notice the gnomes behind him, after he left the table, begin speaking amongst each other, as though, gossip and rumoring and whatnot, like you've seen them do in the past.
I just want to look at them.
You're gonna glare at them?
Yeah, glare.
You're gonna intimidate them with that glare?
Let's find out.
You could as well, Leander.
Yeah, I was gonna say Leander will probably join melee in that.
Okay.
16.
16? Between the two of you, who look more than enough a match for a group of gnomish engineers.
The half-orc's big, but the woman stares daggers, has ice in her eyes.
Exactly. They definitely note that you're on Sing Salter's side, and kind of their faces drop, go a little white, and then turn back towards not really focusing on Sing Salter at all. It's more about, what was that you were working on? What was that acid compound you were talking about and stuff? Completely abandoning whatever they were whispering about before. And you feel as though you have imposed some, Sing Salter's got friends you don't want to mess with on them. Which is a good feeling, ultimately.
I've never seen him someplace where he wasn't getting picked on.
He's a little obnoxious.
Whether by us or the gnomes he's with.
And Sing Salter goes, so what do you intend to do from here on, friends?
Moving on, again.
Really?
Yes. Well, such is the life of an adventurer. Little time to swap stories. Yes, we're heading north with the mayor.
Oh, very well. Sounds like something up to your pedigree. Of all the crazy stuff you guys do all the time. Well, if you do make your way back to Waterwheel, I'll be here. I'm glad I found this spot. Glad you guys brought me here.
It's our intention. I'm glad to see you here. I do think it will provide more for your mind and spirit than Loden could have.
No doubt! You can see he's happy.
If he doesn't plant iron for his kidneys.
I hope not.
And he goes, of course, if you do run into any particularly interesting engineering problems out there were some civilizations on Alaire that got pretty advanced with the old cogs and whistles and stuff. I would be more than willing at any point in your adventures to lend my mind to maybe figuring out those puzzles.
Keep it in mind.
Great. Well then, off into the next day. He hops over with the gnomes and seems to be able to ingratiate himself a little better. They seem a bit more cautious about bullying him, picking on him. Is there anything more you guys would like to do tonight?
Actually, I want to talk to Leander.
Yeah, definitely.
Was there anyone you had in mind who'd like to come with us on the road?
A certain lady?
Well, of
Yes,
course.
Chantel, obviously.
If only she were closer by.
I think we need almost everyone, but Fralthane should most definitely stay.
I agree.
So you're thinking Arena, Bilberry, Gentel, Zorn?
Yep.
No, I guess
Clara.
Yeah, Clara. She's like just a
Yeah.
standard member now.
Sure.
Okay.
We can leave the horse, though. That's
Yeah.
We should probably buy
The horse can pull the cart.
that we're gonna buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we totally should.
You guys gonna go shopping for a cart?
Probably in the morning if we can.
Heck yeah. Do you guys inform that group that you've chosen?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the night you tell Arena, Gentel, Bilberry, and Zorn that they should join them on the road. Bilberry and Zorn, more than willing. Zorn feels as though he did good work here, exactly what he set out to do. He knew that there was going to be some trouble in the mines. He manages to protect it and got his pay for that, and feels pretty good about it. And he didn't have to kill anyone either. Bilberry feels like it's getting a little hot here for him, as in there might be too many eyes on his actions, his plotting. It doesn't take too long for him to be known as a thief. Gentel, of course, already was packing, so you guys set forth with that party. And anything more you'd like to do in the evening?
Yeah, I feel like we should leave. So our only ally here, well, is like Singstalter or... Is Singstalter still here?
Yes.
Alright, I'd like to give him one of the parchments.
Okay.
Just in case anything happens.
So we can contact you?
Yeah.
Alright.
I know you have... Well, I don't. Gilroy doesn't know, but you have the ring with Limerald. But yeah, I'd like to hand him off one of those. Just let him know if anything goes on that, I think he could reach us through these?
Oh, he could, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, parchment is sending. Just write the note and say, to Gilroy!
Okay.
Have it.
And then Gilroy, will regretfully retire to his room. It'll be an early evening for him. Thank you all. And he'll head upstairs to his room and lock the door and bolt it with the immovable rod. He's going to send a message to Sibelius
Okay.
and the Jarl, saying, just giving an update that we took care of the Spider King. We're heading north with the mayor. Claire as well.
Haley's waiting until after he gets his room completely locked up and then gives him a few minutes and then gets up to his room.
Okay.
Just little added trouble.
Okay. Are you knocking?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. 1 minute. And I'll undo the immovable rod and I will open the door. Bailey,
Can I come in?
Of course.
So I go in, and I said I didn't want to talk to you in the bar. More curious than anything. I saw you in the alleyway with Crow. Were you just practicing?
Saw that, did you?
Yeah.
Guess I'll have to banish you as well.
That is unfortunate. Here, follow me.
Okay.
And I will move a rod, lock it up again. And I will put out my rope, instruct it to climb. I will climb up. Well, yeah, I'll climb up first. And upon entering that space, I will peer around, looking for the crow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, totally. So I think, we're in this sort of like translucent bubble, and there's like stars like all around us, and like slowly shifting galactic.
Dust,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And I think maybe like 5 feet from this bubble is another smaller bubble that has the crow just sort of like bouncing around inside of it.
And then not far from that, a hulking creature.
Which one?
The demon.
Oh, I wasn't sure. Okay, fair enough.
This
Yeah.
is the space that you're using as your demi-plane.
It was, yeah. That was my intention.
I mean, he can be wherever you want him to be,
Wasn't
but...
he already pulled from another plane?
Oh, he went
Right.
to the abyss, yeah.
That's why I had to
Yeah.
do the crow.
My bad,
Yeah,
yeah.
I had thought that. I was like, well, I'll just check and see if he's there. But
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, there he is, and I will just gesture towards it.
Look at it for a little bit and say, Gilroy, that is impressive.
Yes, I wasn't sure if it would work, but I'm growing quite fond of this space, and the idea of, having something for safekeeping here is interesting to me. Unfortunately, I don't yet know how to get it out of here.
Do you think it will survive?
It is a harmless demi-plane, therefore, by that, it sustains, it doesn't get hungry, it's like just an eternal prison.
Yeah.
So it will survive!
Yeah, and it won't be, I mean, I suppose it could be distressed, but its needs will be met.
Yep.
Or
just kind of in stasis.
yeah. Yeah.
And I assume you wanted to keep this quiet, which is why you...
I think so. I'm not fond of revealing my projects before they're complete, and I feel like this has one large question left at the end. But I'm happy to have made it this far, and I would like to keep working on it, and it's best if the rest of them don't know. But I'm glad you inquired. I wouldn't want you thinking... I'm sure it didn't look good.
Honestly, I've been a little concerned about you. This has helped.
Good. This has helped me too.
You guys,
I just want to leave.
I banish you from my demi-plane!
back to the material plane!
No.
You had a question, it was answered.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to stay.
That's fair.
You know the way out.
Can I unlock your door?
Oh, yes.
Shoot!
Silas, see you around.
Just kind of pat Silas on the lip. Sees me out. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm
You are permitted
going.
outside, yeah. And, anything for the rest of you that you would like to be doing?
Not tonight, no.
Right.
That's true.
I think I'll just braid it like the Shanti's hair I got from. What was her name? I got one.
Yeah, the hag, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta do that like in your room? a
Yeah,
private
just
space?
in my room. Take
Okay.
an early night too. We've been on the road and on the run so much. I hadn't had a lot of time for worship, and it's due. They've helped us out quite a bit.
Yeah,
so-
definitely. Yeah, you feel a strong connection in battle. During times of stress, your ancestors are looking out for you and your companions, and you have established that connection and found their respect, though there are still so many more mysteries and whatnot. And yeah, you feel as though now is the time to, do those rituals that you haven't been neglecting, just haven't really gotten the chance. And as you set down and quietly set forth the Shanti's hair, you begin to light it, and it wafts up this kind of light yellowish, heavy smoke that hangs in the air. There's a slight knock at your door.
Okay. So, a little annoyed, I just open my eyes and look over and go and open the door.
Alright, and you see before you Godric, the Goliath. And he sees what you're doing and he goes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was wondering if you practiced the old ways.
Of course, I wouldn't be here without them.
I've always felt a connection to the spirits as well. In my times as a warrior, I don't know, it feels as though they've always watched over me, though I do not know their names. I've never known the means of giving them respect. Would you show me?
Of course, my friend.
And he'll join you in that ritual, kneeling down beside you through the evening as you call out the names and give respect. And though in this particular circumstance you get no direct message from the ancestors, you do feel that connection maintained, that respect continues to go strong. And you and Godric bond closer that evening, in that he truly, as a warrior of this space, he explains to you that long ago he was abandoned, much like Frothing, much like a great many Goliaths in this area. They don't exactly get to grow up with parents or anything like that. And since then I learned to live alone on the land, and when Mayor Benevel was pushed up the river towards the Everdark forests, first I took out about 4 of her guards. Then, that's when she took me along, made me her champion, rose me to a status where I could do some good in the world. But, in my heart, I always felt that the wilds, my ancestors, that's truly where my allegiance lies. And keeping that safe. Thank you for showing me this, my friend.
You're welcome.
I'm in your debt.
We all come from the earth and we all return to it.
Yes. Wise words. Cutting down to the rest of you guys. Anything more you'd like to do? It's been a long evening.
Jar probably just
Retires?
drinks a little, eats a little, and listens for a little bit, see if anything interesting comes up, and then he'll retire.
Yeah, it seems to be the normal local gossip and rumors. When's the next giant attack? Do you think the Lightning Gate will hold? Oh, well, I heard that we got enough oil of slipperiness to last the next month and a half. So the people seem pretty damn confident. It seems as though things are working out, and the general tone is that of prosperity.
Really spied on people enough for one day.
Fair enough.
Goes to bed.
Anything with you, Leander?
No. I just goes to bed.
Fair enough. So the morning comes about. The night goes by quietly. And the mayor, you can see across the way beyond the river, seems to be gathering up, a few carts and whatnot, a few ogres. The dwarves of Clan Mulnar are in position to march. The elves as well have gotten ready and seem to be intent on joining you up north. And what would you guys like to do before setting out? The idea of grabbing a cart's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You guys haven't had a cart before. You got all sorts of gold this time. So.
Yeah, I think we should get a wagon and some horses, a couple horses.
So you make your way over towards the woodworking wheel, essentially, which is the closest, or the second one, kind of close to Ropbeard's. It would be this one.
Yeah.
The one next to it grinds flour. And as you enter, you do see indeed that the main export that these guys create are very, very finely crafted, smoothly crafted wooden carts. They seem to, with a degree of automation behind them, have much smoother curves to them, a much kind of, I wouldn't say aerodynamic design, but less boxy design than you've seen of other classic carts and whatnot. Erlon, it looks kind of strange. To the rest of you, it may look, pretty fancy.
Right.
And a gnome turns over towards you as bits of spark and wood chips fly about as one of these carts goes down along. It's not a conveyor belt exactly, but a ogre and half-orc push the cart along as it goes past various machinations that the water wheel powers that carve the wood down. And it seems as though, yeah, the process is rather automated. But this gnome comes up to you, and he goes, oh, hello, looking for something.
A cart?
Because you got all sorts of gold there. What variation of cart?
The type with wheels.
Yes, of course, but some carts are better than others, you know.
The ones that don't smell bad.
They all smell like that fresh cart smell.
Well, I've never met one of those.
Would you care to elaborate for somebody who treads much of the land on foot?
We just have a few different varieties of model, you see. Also paint, if you're looking for a certain style. But for a group as large as yours, I'm thinking you're looking for the Landmaster Xl.
How much is the regular Landmaster?
The regular Landmaster?
No, the XL sounds wonderful. Let's go with that.
5,000 gold for the regular Landmaster, but it includes no enchantments or additional modifications.
And the XL?
All sorts of sweet stuff.
Like
Sounds
sugar.
gaudy.
Welcome to the used car salesman! Freaking encounter! The name's Dale,
Of course.
and I sell used wagons.
I thought these were new.
No,
No, they just have the new cart smell.
It's all reclaimed wagons, you see.
reclaimed. Even.
Oh, I'm so confused.
So, you're, yeah, no, you're definitely, I mean, you could get the regular Landmaster model for 5,000. And sure, it's a 4-horse cart. It'll get you where you're going. But if you're really looking for the adventuring lifestyle, in true luxury,
Because we've never had the adventuring lifestyle
in
before.
true luxury, you're looking for the Landmaster XL. But here, let me show you all the things it comes with. And he walks over to one of these carts, which is a very well-made and large, it looks like it's a 4 to 6 horse cart. Probably could fit like 8 to 10 people inside of it, with a large backspace, a good, huge plank for the main driver, as well as comfortable cushion for him, a rollover kind of canvas mat for the weather. The back is entirely a wooden capped, it's fully a wooden structure. There's no canvas to it, and he swings open one of the doors. The thing is entirely black with a single red stripe that runs along it, and on the very back, golden lettering that says Landmaster XL. And he opens it on up, showing that the interior of the cart, he snaps his fingers and a few torches and candles light up inside, and he goes, has stealth options, so you can very quickly douse all the lights if need be. But, of course, that doesn't matter. What you're really looking for is storage, right? And so he makes his way over to the back and flips open the various crates that kind of hang off the back. What would they call those on a cart?
Like a chest?
Yeah, it's kind of like a chest, like a trunk-esque thing.
Yeah,
But
true.
they kind of have them hanging off the back, and he flips one of them open and he goes, each and every one of these, it can hold a lot of stuff. How much stuff exactly, you ask? Well, it works a lot like that bag. I know the type. This one can fit like a few whole ladders. He opens up another larger, wider crate, and he goes, this one, I mean, how much gold you got on you?
Elbow or long.
We could
Be like,
run a
"Get
traveling demi-monde out of
I'm not
this.
getting in.
in- get
This
in the
is
box."
this whole thing is this is gaudy to the extreme.
See if you can fit in the box.
Well,
No.
my biggest concern.
Horses included.
No.
How much?
Well, the Landmaster XL model goes for 30,000 standardly. Of course, you are heroes of the town, so I'd cut that down to 25,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, okay.
Can we take out a loan?
How about
We just
Can we make payments?
how about 20?
20,000? It's tough to do for that. I mean, a lot of enchantment goes into these babies.
So I kind of turn. I'm like, "This is really the one you guys want?"
Gilroy's eyes are wide. Yeah, he loves this thing. He thinks it's awesome.
Like, class with Dale.
It doesn't
on
smell
the shoulder,
bad.
Come over here.
Who they made cars
Like
gonna
the
smell bad?
Eastern.
Okay, so you take Dale off to the side.
Since Amelia's gotten her letter from home and the party and people know who she is, she's a little bit more okay throwing
Sure,
things
yeah,
out.
yeah.
So do I have anything with like the insignia or anything on
That
it?
letter, no
Yeah,
doubt,
I'm
has the
sure.
stamp, yeah.
Yeah. So I just kind of want to like, so you know, a lot of good press could go a long
The
way
Woodrose.
for you. I don't know if.
Let me...
You
Whoa,
have to say
give me a moment. And he walks up
away from you.
and goes into a
Gilroy's
space kind of
looking at
above the conveyor belt, where there's kind of this small, looks like kind of a foreman's quarters, office. It overlooks the whole space with glass, and there's a set of stairs that leads on up to it. And he goes up on there, knocks in, is permitted in, and seems to be chatting for a moment as you guys look over the cart and whatnot. And comes down with an elderly human. He has a long beard, he's wearing robes, and he walks down with a staff. And makes his way over to the group, and he goes, "You're negotiating for one of the XLs. So I heard. You're Woodrow. Interesting. Would you still be able to give us the 20,000 so that we can break even here? I do work hard on the enchantments. They are quite pricey. However, I guarantee you will be traveling quite comfortably in this particular wagon." And Dale looks up and he goes, "This is Gandrel. He's a wizard. he makes the boxes do what they do and stuff. And you could this one. Okay, I'll show him. This one always seals the deal." He goes. He walks on up and hops into the driver's seat, and you see that there is a lever essentially. And he takes the lever and wrenches it back, and on the side of the cart kind of falls out, and out rolls a ballista.
Whoa!
It's not a full-size, siege ballista, but you can sit on it, and it looks like it could take down giants, that kind of stuff. And you go, they're specifically...
Fan of ranged weapons.
Yes, exactly. He goes, they're specifically suited for this kind of territory, so... does that seal the deal? 20,000.
20,000 seems more.
That's 4 for each of us. That's good. I'm good.
Might I have a request from our party?
Yes?
I know I'm not. Well, no, I'm pretty sentimental. But I know you weren't there, Jar, but we were all brought together in a red wagon.
I want it black. I do not want to be in another red wagon.
But this could be a message, Melee, of hope.
You know what makes me feel hopeful? Purple. Purple wagon.
I like red. As
You
long
add
as we
some
can
purple
take
to it.
the gaudy Landmaster
Yeah.
XL off the back.
Oh, that was my suggestion. Well, all right, fine. We can do it.
I think we should add some purple for Jar, though.
I think
What
we
if
need
we
to
do-
get on the road.
What if we do the cushioning for the driver's seat purple?
Yes.
The embroidery and
I'm
stuff.
sold.
All
Twice
right.
now. You've
Yes.
sold.
So, 20,000 gold. You get 6 horses. You get a red finished Landmaster XL.
And I'll be sure to tell it.
You guys gonna
Everyone
name
in
it?
my family.
Yes, yes. They'll be so
I'm
proud
not
of
telling
you. man.
anyone in my family.
You have. My goodness.
Yeah, we should name it something.
Right? Does it have a name? As you guys roll on out, they open up the 2 big sliding doors at the far end of the lumber wheel and permit you on out into the road with a full. How many horses do you need? If you have the war horse on the front, hitched up on the front, take 4.
Roger's not getting hitched up.
Okay, so you get 6 horses.
Yeah.
Prepare for some upkeep. You have to start
It's
doing
gonna be a
math.
lot of
Yeah.
fodder.
We got food.
Can we stop by the
We got money.
blacksmiths?
Yeah, it's on the way. If you were to go towards the eastern bridge, so you stop at the blacksmith.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Did we each pay 4,000? Is that the? Or
I
are we
had
just taking-
taken my cut into my own personal from that, so I just took
Okay.
4,000 for that.
That's what I did.
So we're not taking it from the
We do have,
pool.
like,
We split
50.
up.
Did we?
well, we
I
split the
had that
50
in.
grand, but
Yeah.
then we each had our own, and then we still have like 10,000 in the sort of communal pool. So
Gotcha.
that's, I mean, we could do either or.
So you get another 6,000 on
Oh,
what you were
okay.
saying.
Yeah.
What you have.
Cool.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
so I'll drop that to, yeah. It makes sense to me. I was, but I'm adding in my 4,000. Yeah.
So as the cart makes its way down the road in the morning sun, people parting the way, Leander, you hop off and make your way towards the blacksmith. And you see indeed that half-orc that was hammering away at some heated metal, still doing much the same. And I'm having a hard time finding... There we go. And he looks up and he goes, welcome again to Steel of the Sun Reachers. What do you need?
Could you bring back out that box?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. We could use the gold. He pulls on out the box. It's got the +1 mithril chainmail. Got +2 sunblade. Got +2 hand crossbow that generates its own ammo. We got +2 plate. Anyone intrigued in any of those in particular?
Gilroy's at the cart.
Yeah.
Checking out all the boxes and stuff.
Got stuff in each thing.
How much was the sunblade?
That would be 14,000.
If I... Alright, Leander goes... When I was thinking of getting a new sword, I probably would have given this one to one of my old compatriots. But do you think I could get that sunblade?
I would think so.
What's your current sword?
+1 frost brand.
Oh, right, it's a crossbrand.
Yeah.
You probably trade that in.
Yeah.
Okay. That would probably cut it down to 10,000.
Alright. Somebody can, or if we could take 5,000 out of the funds. Or
Leander, I have no near need as much of money as the rest of the party. Take whatever you need.
Okay.
All right.
Furlong,
So,
I won't forget this.
how much are you giving then, Leander?
5,000.
5,000, 5,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you get yourself a +2 sunblade. It glows. It lights up like a lightsaber. Yeah.
What color is it?
And it deals an extra 1d8 damage to undead.
Alright.
Anything else there at the Steel of the Sun Reachers before you guys make your way on down?
No, I feel like we should buy like sufficient provisions.
Fair enough.
Mm.
Yeah, you
That's
can
a good
definitely
point.
find that throughout Ropbeard's Market.
I don't know if there's anywhere for potions.
There is the
Goblins.
yeah, the goblins. You can go and try and find them if you would like.
We have a discount.
You do. There's a 10% discount. Here then, yeah, I'll go to
It's the most exciting part of the game. Shopping and discounts and parts sometimes. I love it. I do love it.
Yeah.
okay,
Sure,
so
I'm fine.
yeah, you guys can easily
Yeah.
get if someone were to give up 50 gold, you have more than enough rations and horse feed and whatnot.
So
that-
from the-
About 50.
Okay.
that
If
you
we do it
feel-
from the party, then we'll have an even 10,000.
Alright, go do that.
Okay.
That's more important.
even numbers. We need it.
Now we have to name the horses.
Oh goodness.
Fred.
I've never taken care of a horse, so this is a
So-
lot.
I'll teach you, Gilroy. I'll teach you.
So you guys make your way, also in the open market indeed, after asking around for a little while, as the sun begins to rise, you do find a goblin who leads you towards the Grimshank clan, which they have a small little operation in one of the kind of northern huts of the marketplace, and they show off that they have many of the same things that they showed on the road, on the cart. So they have fire cold and lightning oils. You can get those for 360 gold apiece. Potion of stone skin you could get for 450. Potions of greater healing for 450.
How much were the fire and cold?
360 apiece. Fire, cold, and lightning oils. They do 1d8 fire, cold, or lightning damage.
I want 5 of the fire oil.
Okay.
GN5 of the gold.
All right.
I'll buy one of the healing potions.
Okay. That's 450. Anything more? Potions? Cool. Alright, so finally, you guys meet up, turning down the road and to the south part of town. You meet up with the mayor just as her procession is making their way out of the southern gate, though they turn towards the north as they funnel on out. And the mayor stops right as she goes underneath the gate and goes, are you ready now? It's going to be a few days on the road. And behind you, you can see Zorn, Bilberry, Gentel, Arena, Clara's in the cart, are crossing the bridge and meeting up with you guys, being ready for the travel.
So who's piloting our
Who's
car?
the driver?
It does it itself.
I've probably pulled a few wagons in my
Oh,
day,
sure.
just
Heck yeah.
between my diplomatic missions.
Or just animal
So,
handling in
and-
general
yeah.
is, under your domain,
Just
so...
feels
Jar's
wrong
watch
to
Glimmeralt.
I prefer to walk, but if you guys need somebody to do
It
this.
feels wrong to have Zorn do it. Like, it sounds
And as you sit down in the driver's seat, that space up elevated above the cart and its front wheels, you do find the cushions of it, the purple cushions and whatnot, the embroidery, is way too comfy for you. It feels like, sitting in snow or something. So you kind of hunch forward so that you don't have to deal with that and give them, the whip, the reins a whip. And the horse begin to trot on along.
Do the other people have wagons?
Yes, the ogres are guarding a wagon which Mayor Benevelt stays inside of. It seems as though the Clan Molnar dwarves all have bedrolls on their back. They're all soldiers. The elves, on the other hand, also have a rather extravagant-looking wagon.
Just to be clear, this is more like a stagecoach than a wagon.
Yeah.
Okay. Jar's gonna hang out on top. Just kind of.
Sure, absolutely. You're feeling kind of on top of the world. Things have turned around. They're looking up. And as the sun rises, you guys turn on out, making your way up along the northern roads and out of the valley that you had entered some weeks ago. Following along some of the tributaries of the Great Lake that run down off the mountain, along those paths over a few old bridges towards the Everdark Forest and the Great Lake as well. And as you continue along down the path, the sun rising and the flowers beginning to kind of glow a bit, the birds chirping. The mayor looks back from her cart, and you're rolling across at a good pace, but certainly nothing you couldn't keep up with on foot. And she goes, so, first we'll make our way through the forests, and then we'll have to follow the ruins along the Great Lake. But after a few days, we should reach the Strait. That's the space where the Great Lake empties out into the sea. It's a rather large river. And once we have passage across that bridge, we'll be very close to the peninsula on which Steelhammer Stronghold resides. From there, our meeting and your allies. And you roll on forth into the countryside, and I think that is where we're going to wrap up this session. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that one. It was vastly RP and establishing where we are and where we're going forward from, but sometimes that's just the best stuff.
Yeah, it was fun.
I like.
Awesome. And so, what do we have to cover? All sorts of stuff.
Yeah, as we've said in the past, if you're viewing this on Twitch, consider giving us a follow. We hit 200 followers, so we're going to be doing a t-shirt drawing amongst all our followers pretty soon. On a stream sometime soon. We're just going to get the logistics figured out. But we're also working towards another t-shirt giveaway at 250 followers. So, tell your friends, if you're first time dropping in, hit us with a follow. You'll be entered to win. Thank you to HJ Ant, also Keith, from our local store here, and for subscribing to us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Every subscription helps get us towards that partnership, and just helps to keep this store open and the production rolling on. So thank you very much for that, man. If you haven't subscribed already, you can subscribe for free once a month to through Amazon Prime, or you can throw us $5 and you'll get some cool emotes and a lot of love from the cast.
Definitely.
And if you're on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube later, consider subscribing there. That one's totally free.
Yep.
But you'll get
Throw a
updated.
comment and a like on the video if you want.
It'd be much appreciated. You can also check us out on social media. Those are in the links below or in chat here. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the social medias. We also have a Discord, which you can check out in the link below or in chat here. And check out our comic and game shop in Whitehall, New York, open 5 days a week. Ian and I often behind the counters. Lots of cool events going on. We're ramping up, doing some really cool, lots of D&D, lots of role-playing games coming up. And or you can find us at freakopolis.com. Get yourself something cool and geeky.
So Freakopolis all over the place. And then joined by gaming.
Yeah, we are joined by gaming. We promote positivity in the gaming community. We also do little pop-up game nights all around the area, and we're trying to raise money for our local children's hospital.
Awesome.
We're on joinedbygaming.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
So check out Joined by Gaming. Awesome gaming for an awesome cause. And finally, thank you very much to our father, who you may have seen in the recap video, who puts just so much work into this. It could not be done without him. His dedication keeps it going. And finally, have a good night, and we will see you next time for more adventure.